I know it sounds silly, but literally eating straight from the garden, fresh herbs and fresh vegetables, that to me is also a form of medicine. Morning person, so I do a lot of like writing and creative stuff in the morning, so I feel like that's like my quiet time before the day, I guess, the day gets started. But yeah, I definitely try to practice like mindfulness and meditation. There are people around you that don't necessarily do that. You can seem a little like odd to them, but man, I think that's another thing. When you get older, you don't really give a shit about stuff like that, and
Welcome to the Collaborative Resource Hub by Wellness Provisions. Our mission is to bridge the gap between mental health, wellness, and music, specifically rock and roll. I'm Amy McBride, owner of Wellness Provisions, the most badass wellness business. Wellness Provisions supplies rock and rollers with high-quality supplements. We give you a trustworthy place to go where you can essentially shop blindfolded. Our wellness kits were created out of a need to simplify your shopping experience and make it stress-free. You'll get the most effective nutrients in the least amount of bottles with the least trial and error. Immerse yourself in the Collaborative Resource Hub by going to our website, where you'll have access to helpful resources that can nudge you in the right direction. Let's inspire each other. If that guy did it, so can you. Find the Collaborative Resource Hub interviews on YouTube, all major podcast platforms, and subscribe to our newsletter to stay in the loop. Last but not least, my legal disclaimer: nothing in this interview or the Collaborative Resource Hub substitutes medical advice. Please connect with your GP if you need medical guidance. Adam, hello. Thank you so much for sitting down with me and chatting today.
Thank you. This is cool.
Yeah. I'm sure it's a different kind of conversation than you're used to having about, music related stuff, or not music related.
Yeah, it is. It is a little different for sure, but I think it's a good idea. I mean, mental health is, I guess, a universal sort of subject. So obviously music is too. So they go hand in hand, I guess.
Yeah. Everybody has brains and we need to take care of them.
Yeah, for sure.
So you play guitar in He Is Legend, out of Wilmington, North Carolina, which is also where I am. So we're actually in the same town, which is pretty far out.
Yes.
Yeah. How would you describe the band to someone who's never heard you guys before?
We always just keep it simple, and we say we're loud rock and roll, which is true. But there's, if you dive deeper, I mean, there's definitely a lot of aspects of different things. We try to channel like 90s era metal and rock, and just try, that's kind of what we grew up on. Also a little bit of new metal thrown in there. But yeah, we're pretty simple, loud, big, dumb band.
And I'm sure super killer live. Yeah.
Some might say. I like to think so. That's our bread and butter, trying to still sound awesome live.
Yeah. So shifting gears already this fast away from music. Was there a point in your life when you realized that you needed to be like your own priority and to like be on top of your shit?
Yeah, I mean, I think that comes as you get older, maybe going through certain things. Obviously I think for most people, when you're young, being naive is kind of like a savior, but also like a curse as well. So like, I think when you grow out of that naivety, or maybe hopefully notice certain patterns of things, and some people, this happens for different people at different times. Some people never make themselves a priority, but I'd say probably like in my 30s, I just, a lot of your ego bullshit just kind of gets tired, like to even yourself, so you're just like, you just kind of want a new way. And I definitely think that prioritizing yourself and your own mental health and all that stuff is part of that. It seems to kind of be like a something that a lot of people are, or like a decent amount of people are picking up on, because I see like more and more stuff, or just information and like validation, for, yeah, like self-care, all, all the things that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's becoming like wellness is trending, but it's
Yeah.
amazing. It's something that like you want to be trending, and people are starting to like, I guess, sort of wake up. And sometimes it's really slowly, but I mean, it's happening for people to have better boundaries. I feel like so many people like meditate now and are more aware of mindfulness and yoga. Everybody does yoga.
Yeah. Yeah, my I don't, but my sister and my mother do, and I think my sister's my nephew is doing it now, and he's like 5, so
Oh,
that's
that's
pretty insane. But yeah, I definitely try to practice like mindfulness and meditation. It's crazy how much, I guess, if you have a, if you're busy, it's hard, it can be difficult to like find those times. But man, it's so like, it's so valuable, so priceless,
Yeah. I think, but that's part of it, is when you start to see the value in what it can bring to like your whole being and like your stress levels and all of that, your emotional state, then it can be easier to make the time, because it is such a it becomes a priority.
Hmm. Yeah. And that can seem like it, if I agree with that. And so if you're living in a world where there are people around you that don't necessarily do that, you can seem a little like odd to them. But man, I think that's another thing. When you get older, you don't really give a shit about stuff like that. And I, I think, if you're maturing correctly, I guess, you're trying to find more of that, as you get older. And I've noticed that I have, for sure.
Yeah, same with me, like exactly the same. And that's a good way to put it. If you're maturing, like quote unquote correctly, yeah, like you stop giving a crap what people think of you, and you're just like, but I feel awesome, and that's what matters.
Yeah.
What does mindfulness look like to you?
Trying to, hopefully at numerous times a day, but at least, at least once a day, like just kind of observe yourself and your actions and your thoughts, and like, okay, so one thing I think about, or that I've learned, that I've kind of read about, is like being an observer of your own mind, like, because it's not very easy to basically take yourself seriously. And I do it all the time. I'm doing it right now. But yeah, it's just, trying to realize that a lot of this shit is a goddamn illusion.
Mm-hmm.
And that can literally be backed up by science. It's not just like stoner speak. It's, there's just so much that we just don't know. We're tiny little babies when when it really comes down to it. So just kind of trying to be humble, and examine, like it. I think it also means like trying, like, so if you are truly observing correctly and trying to be real with yourself, it also means like congratulating yourself and being proud of whatever there is to be proud of, or there should be like you're like, all right, you did well there, let's try to improve upon these things. I noticed that you were like quick to anger, or whatever, like you had a short, or you didn't treat that person the way, you had a feeling when you were talking to that person that you maybe weren't giving them the time or respect that, just shit like that, where you're just like kind of mindful of, like, I don't know, I guess we're
Yeah.
supposed to be making the place better while we're here. There, you could definitely argue that none of us are doing that, but at least trying. Yeah.
Yeah, taking the time to reflect on situations, whether it's involving other people or just yourself and your own internal dialogue, kind of stepping back and detaching from your ego.
definitely. It's
Yeah,
hard to do,
it is.
or it can be difficult, but it can also, I guess, be natural if you practice at it.
And that's, I mean, and that's exactly what it is. Just like anything, everything is like weird at first, or like, am I doing this right, or whatever. But the more you do it, you just sort of fall into a groove, I feel like. So do you meditate?
Uh, I guess my version of that. Yeah, I try to do that as often as I can, at reasonable times. But I'm like a morning person, so I do a lot of like writing and creative stuff in the morning. So I feel like that's like my quiet time before the day gets started.
What time do you wake up?
Uh, well, I've been working early recently, but yeah, I wake up. I have a weird schedule, so I wake up around sometimes like 2 a.m. Just stuff like hours to like. It's mainly, honestly, it's really just to have that quiet time for music. I feel like a lot of my writing is done, or like a lot of my ideas, because I'm drinking coffee. I'm meditating, and I'm also playing guitar, which to me is like a form of meditation in a way. I
Huh?
like think about it as like, I don't know, when you're putting your hands in certain positions like over and over and over again and I don't know, it kind of feels like tantric in a way or something like that. Like it's a cool thing. But yeah, I mean, that's not an all the time thing. I don't always wake up that early, but definitely just try to get up early to be able to focus on music. Because typically later in the day we're doing practice and stuff like that, so
Yeah.
um, not as much time to, I guess, just write alone.
Yeah. I always admire people who, for some reason, more for early morning, but it just depends on the person. But people who know when they sort of have those like ideas and like want to be productive and make use of the quiet time and like do it. Like, yeah, to me, I feel like it's a lot of the time it's people who wake up early and just take a few hours before like the rest of the day kind of gets going and really wisely uses that time for themselves and growth.
Yeah, I mean, and I to be fair, I mean, I've always thought like you said, it doesn't matter if it's early or like you hear about a lot of artists like burning the midnight oil, like the whole. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to figure out that a lot of those hours become the same hours. Like, if somebody's like, oh yeah, I'm a night owl, I get all my best shit done after midnight. And somebody's like, yeah, I'm an early bird, I get all my shit done around 2. It's like you're doing your shit at the same goddamn time. you know
Yeah, that's funny. It's true. It's true.
yeah,
Um,
same shit, whatever, whoever, do your shit in the middle of the day. I mean, it literally does not matter.
yeah, the key is to just actually do it and don't put off like making time for yourself for those things, because it's easy to get caught up like in being busy and not doing things for yourself.
It's so, I mean, it can be so difficult. I mean, if like, most of us are, just trying to make ends meet, that can literally be, there are so many people that would love to dedicate more time, I mean, myself included, love to dedicate more time to just being creative, but real life gets in the way, I guess.
Do
So
you do you ever feel hard on yourself about that, or do you have like forgiveness, like with the reality that like some days maybe you don't have as much time to do creative writing, or you don't meditate that day because like it just escaped you?
yeah, I don't get like hard on myself, but definitely they're like, um, I definitely don't feel it's the same thing as like people that, are like love being in the gym, and if those people take a day or two off from the gym, they will tell you that it's like they don't feel, it just doesn't feel right. And it's like definitely the same with music. Like if I don't get to play loud with, my drummer and bass player, like just to do it just for no reason, like at a certain point it feels like bad, and there was a point in my life where I just decided that even though a lot about doing music professionally is difficult, just whatever sacrifices have to be made, just go, kind of relegate yourself to like, that's what it is. So, yeah, I kind of just happy to be that kind of person. Now I feel honored to be an artist. You know, it's weird and it's crazy, but it's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't granted.
If you, I mean, everybody does. So not if, but when you have some kind of rejection or obstacle that's been put in your path, how do you cope with that or like pick yourself up and get around that?
That's a good question. I guess the older I get, maybe stuff like that just can't matter too much, because if it all just depends on, you know, it just kind of having perspective. And I remember recently just telling myself, like, or reminding myself, like, remember all these things you've been stressed about before, disappointed about, and it just, you know, you end up finding how sometimes, you know, just all kinds of silver lining things where those things actually were blessings in disguise, or for whatever reason it just like it didn't matter after a while. So it's just, I don't know how we're all going to die one day, so it's just like, you know, it's not in a negative, it's like, it's, you know, like, and having perspective even of what like people on this earth are going through, quite typically, like what's going on in our lives is worrisome, you know, as I guess people in one of the most powerful nations, you know, but it's just like, it rarely does it compare to what a lot of other people are going through. So I guess just trying to have perspective, and I don't know, it's kind of a typical cheesy thing to say, you know, like, oh, those things make you stronger, but you know, there's really not much else to say. Like, oh shit, maybe I do have a favorite quote.
What is it?
I don't know. It's just, you know, in Shawshank Redemption, when he's just like, you know, get busy living or get busy dying. Like I mean, it's literally like we live in a hostile environment. So like, you're going to die one day, and like, you know, much worse has happened to, you know, many more. So it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Try to just get through, make you stronger.
Yeah. Use the experiences for growth, and don't live in victimhood and having a pity party. And yeah, this is your life. So use it.
And yeah, and sometimes, you know, like if you know that you're a pity party prone person, maybe you have to like literally give like, okay, so I'm just gonna wallow for whatever this amount of time, and then literally understand, maybe even try to, like, if you know that's a pattern in yourself, observe, like, kind of as you're doing it, kind of almost make fun of the fact, like, dude, that, you know, listen to what you're saying about yourself. You're being a fucking, you know, so it'll like kind of bring you out of it sooner. And just like, I don't know, maybe the big lesson for everything is like, we cannot take ourselves seriously. And I think in doing that, we probably end up being healthier people if we could all grasp that. And I'm not saying in any way that I mean, I totally fall into all these ego traps all the fucking time. I'm sure I'm doing it right now. But you know, it's just, we're all hopefully trying to do the best we can.
That's good insight though. It's good. I mean, it's good advice that like, if you are someone who kind of likes to sit in your shit for a while, then give yourself like a day, but then like after that day or after 2 days or whatever the time is, then like you gotta get up and keep moving.
Yeah. And hopefully if you know, like, let's say you're one of those type of people and you don't allow yourself to do that. I mean, it's like, I guess it's that metaphor of like, you know, like pressing, you know, you got a lump in a balloon, you press it down and it just pops up somewhere else. So it's just like, just don't fight it. Maybe just observe the pattern. And then like, you know, as it's happening, hopefully because you're observing it, you're just like, you know, I'm kind of getting too old for this shit after a certain, you know, hopefully when it keeps happening, and maybe, you know, at first you need to wallow in your shit for a month. And then as time goes on, you find yourself just like not even wanting to give yourself that time because it's just silly.
I dig it. I like your perspective with that. At least your current perspective with that.
All right.
And yeah, also for anyone, well, obviously for people who are listening right now, earlier I had asked Adam, gave him a heads up at the end. I like to ask everyone what their favorite quote is. And he was like, oh man, I don't know. And so then it turns out through conversation, he found one.
Well, I mean, it's just that's a good movie. That's a good quote. And I don't know. There's nothing that, yeah, I don't know. Like I was saying before, I guess earlier, the older I get, the less like certain I feel about any one thing, and to me that feels like approaching more wisdom than like feeling you have more answers every day you live on this earth.
Yeah, I feel you. So have there been any additions or even like omissions in your life that have improved your creativity?
Cannabis.
Improved it?
The addition of cannabis has improved my creativity, or in my opinion. I guess if you're a fan of the band I Am Hollywood and Stuck at the Poison were, I guess, kind of pre-cannabis, and then from It Hates You on, is like me kind of finding the plant and kind of having a relationship with it. So I think it improved it, just improves mental health. Not for everybody, but definitely for me. Perspective.
Yeah. Are there certain strains or anything that you found resonate better with you?
Oh, I mean, I have my favorite strains, but it's not for everybody, and it's that, I'm sure I think me as a person, I tend to try to gravitate towards hopefully things that are a little bit more natural. So I feel like more comfortable using something like cannabis for anxiety or for creativity than, I guess, a harder alternative.
Yeah, or like I guess prescription or illegal or any other options. Cannabis is softer.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and it just feels different. You just feel more open to certain things. But yeah, it's definitely not for everyone. So yeah, I mean, to each their own.
Yeah. Do you take any supplements or anything ever?
My sister is kind of like, she knows more about stuff like that than me, so she'll send me. Recently I've been doing like mushroom extracts, so like lion mane, reishi. I don't know, are you familiar with that stuff at all? I'm not super knowledgeable about stuff like that. I also have a buddy who gave me some turkey tail extract. I want to say that's like maybe anti-cancerous or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, just things like that are like always to me way more intriguing, and just I'm more open to try than at least at first, than maybe something pharmaceutical or, I guess, man-made.
Yeah. Yeah, mushrooms, man, they're so old. I mean, it's like reishi is, oh my God. I mean, like ancient. It's fucking ancient. And it's part of like traditional Chinese medicine. And reishi is really good for helping with like cardiovascular health, sleep support, immune health. Turkey tail, like you said, it's really great for immune support. And lion's mane is awesome for like if you did that like in the mornings, it's good for
Do it with my coffee.
Yeah, perfect. And it helps with like focus and kind of cognition and memory, like as it's used, consistently, but it helps with that kind of like feeling like you're getting in gear.
Also during the summer, not so much now, but I had a garden. She gave me this Tulsi holy basil plant, which flourished really well out there, and just like literally eating, I know it sounds silly, but literally eating straight from the garden, fresh herbs and fresh vegetables, that to me is also a form of medicine. that I'm pretty into. I swear that holy basil, like it has like this crazy like it's almost like mentholy. I don't know. It's an amazing plant. But yeah, just stuff like that. All, um, micro dosing. I'm a fan of. I haven't done it in a while, but I'm referring to mushrooms, psychedelic mushroom, psilocybin.
Yeah.
And there's good, I guess, good research on that. Is I think my sister knows more about this, but like the MAPS stuff, study of psychedelics for like mental health stuff, I want to say.
Yeah, I don't know the acronym of the people who are really promoting that research, but there is, and I think it's I believe it's legal now out in Washington State, possibly Oregon.
There,
Medicinal use, yeah. Like under the care
yeah,
of a therapist.
yeah, I think that stuff is great. I guess anything that we can all do to utilize natural stuff is probably going to be better for us. What supplements do you take?
Oh my God. It varies. I go back and forth, but I do consistently every day do some kind of like mushroom stuff like lion's mane, chaga, just whatever I have open at the time. But essential fatty acids like fish oil, that stuff is amazing for just overall inflammation response and balancing mental health. There's a multivitamin it's all food source. So the nutrients actually are coming from food. So like
That's
the leaves of the plants, that have these minerals and vitamins and stuff, as opposed to like synthetically made in, like a lab, like most vitamins are. So that stuff's awesome.
yes.
Do you pay attention to your diet overall?
I probably should more. I mean, I try to eat real things as much as possible. Um, I was, fortunately, like when we were growing up, didn't really have much. We didn't, buy a bunch of processed foods. So kind of in that way most of my life. But yeah, just trying to eat real foods. Fast food is obviously like, it serves its purpose, but it's just as you get older, you just kind of feel like shit when you, when you
Right.
eat any,
Yeah.
even processed food too. It's not even, even just like, the whole center of the grocery store stuff, that stuff makes you feel like shit too. So
Yeah.
yeah, just trying to eat real food. I love to cook, so that helps.
What are some dishes that you like cooking? Like a couple of your favorites?
Um, I like breakfast foods a lot. I like smoked foods on the grill. I like authentic Mexican food, but I'm trying to learn how to like slowly cook stuff like that. But I honestly, when it comes to stuff, I'd rather. It's a shame because we're usually on the road, so I have like access to like I know that when we're from the time we hit Texas through like California, I'm eating is authentic. Just stoked about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, we don't have the same stuff out here by any means.
but at least you can get it when you can.
Yes.
Um, is there anything else that you incorporate into your routine for self-care?
I don't know, just trying to be, figure out what makes you tick and making sure you try to get that, whatever it is. Hopefully they're healthy things. Like I said, for me, it's music and cannabis or two, and I get reflection time, own time, writing time, are the three kind of like staples that I need to make me feel, I guess at ease or happy, like I'm contributing, like I guess doing my life's purpose.
Yeah, so that's how you honor yourself.
Yeah, definitely. I especially as I get older, like, I'm happy to cut stuff out in place of myself, so that I can have what I need. There's a lot of stuff. Anybody doing music professionally will tell you there's tons of stuff that you sacrifice by being a professional musician, but it's just, if you're a lifer, you're happy to do it in a way.
Yeah. It's for the greater good.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have anything cool coming up this year?
So right now we're in writing mode, which is like my favorite thing to do. And also hopefully, I guess pandemic provided, we're supposed to do Furnace Fest, which I'm really, really excited about because that lineup.
Where is that?
So it's where the original Furnace Fest was. I think they tried to kind of get back a lot of the, like, I mean, there's other bands as well, but a lot of the lineup that they had, I want to say, 2000, it was early 2000s when this thing happened the first time. And it's in this, I guess, big old, Sloss furnace. I don't know. It's like a big old ancient warehouse factory type thing. But yeah, it was an amazing, unreal festival back then. And if it happens this year, it's going to be unbelievable, especially because people haven't been able to, have access to live music for so long. So the lineup is packed.
And when is it?
September.
Cool.
We're all, just waiting to see what's happening with live performances. I think musicians are, chomping at the bit is like an understatement at this point. So it's just like, everybody's super eager to get back at it safely. Obviously, nobody wants to be dumb about it, but everybody still wants to. I'm sure fans want to see the shows, and I know the bands want to play. So, but yeah, I'm mainly just trying to get as many songs written and hopefully play some live music.
Far out. That's awesome. Well, cool. It's been really cool chatting with you. You have awesome perspective on life and moving forward in a positive direction. It's cool to hear your thoughts on everything.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And keep taking all of those mushrooms because they're really, really good for you.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. All right, cool. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Dust, dry rocks and mountains, Stockholm syndrome, blistered mountains.